Good morning, traders. I'm Michael Sabo, Senior Market Strategist with RJO Futures here in Chicago on August 20th with some commentary here in the energy market. So let's get started. Crude prices touch firmer on the overnight. October crude trading around 93.28. We're up about 42 cents. Brent is up as well, but only up about 17 cents, trading around 101.74. So slightly firmer tone. Nat gas getting beat up a little bit. We're off about 5 to 6 cents. Complex is kind of quiet. Right now we've got RBOB down just a touch here, about 1/4 cent, and the heat is basically unchanged. So, taking a look at things here, we got the S&P 500. It's been firmer. Actually, it's been quite a bit firmer over the last several sessions, and yet, it really has been no help to the oil market. Now, the dollar, and it's something I've talked about in some of these previous posts, take a look at the dollar index. Dollar has been very firm. It's at some of the highest points of the entire year, and as you see the dollar start to rise, it can have the ability to help put pressure on commodities, and I think we're certainly seeing that in the case of crude oil. Now, you couple that with our supply levels, and you take a look at the latest EIA inventory data that was released here today. We did see a draw of about 4.4 million barrels versus expectations. Most traders are looking for a draw of about 1.7, but the total stocks, I think, is what's really important to look at. And I've mentioned this in a lot of the posts. Our total stockpiles right now are about 362 million barrels here. And when you look at our all-time highs for this time of year, we're just slightly underneath that, which was 379 million barrels. The lows for this time of year, 278 million. So as you can see, we are certainly been running, our stocks continue to run up near some of the highest levels that we've seen for this period, for this time of year. And so I think that certainly helps to weigh on the market. That, and then when you start to take a look at the overall demand for oil or potential demand for oil, we've seen that expectations have basically been lowered here for the remaining part of this year. Some of the economic data has been weak coming out of Europe again, weak coming out of China. And so those things are all adding to help keep crude prices under pressure. And when you look at the current levels that they're trading at, we're down near here the lows of the year. So, the one thing I will say though, and although, again, in a lot of these posts I've mentioned about being, somewhat bearish on oil, at these prices, though, I do think the market, and at the rapid decline that we've seen in prices here, I do think oil could potentially be setting itself up for a bounce higher. So what you got to watch for, I think, is base building. Watch for this market to start to kind of lose some of that downside momentum here. There are a couple technical setups that I'm eyeing right now. If you'd like to get into more detail, give me a call. I can talk to you about those. But, if we continue to see this market start to base down here, watch the short-term technical indicators, which are in pretty oversold territory. There could be a setup here to potentially look for the market to move higher. And then at that point, there could be a great opportunity to jump on the short side of that market. One thing I want to also point out here is we got to continue to keep a very watchful eye on the geopolitical events. The ceasefire has ended between Israel and Hamas. There was some missiles that were fired here. So we got to watch that and see if that continues to escalate or what happens there. Certainly the stuff going on in Russia and Ukraine, and also even the stuff that's going on in Libya where they've had some problems, although it looks like production levels are looking to increase there. So a lot of things to keep an eye on. You want to get into more detail. You want to talk about some strategies on how to take advantage of this market. Give me a call, shoot me an email. Futures and options on futures may involve substantial risk and may not be suitable for all investors.